It's like,
So what changed?
what changed?
Yeah, that it was live instantaneously.
Well, because we're using OBS to stream. Instead of using OBS as a camera, we're using OBS to do everything.
Okay. Hey, look, there you are.
Yes. And, gentle viewer, it's a good term, gentle viewer.
Gentle viewer.
There's a reason we're using OBS.
Okay.
And there's a reason we're late. And there's a reason that I'm in a good mood, even though we're over an hour late. And it all has to do with OBS. So, we have something really cool to show you as soon as somebody shows up.
Who's coming over?
No, that's on the...
Oh, I thought like someone was coming over here, and I'm like,
No!
you didn't tell me somebody was coming over, man.
Okay, let us begin. Welcome to another episode of the Northwest Brewmeisters. We see you.
Somebody showed up.
I think it's Jamey.
I can't read it.
I know, it's 20 feet across the garage. Because of the stupid new laptop camera, I don't know how to zoom it out, so we gotta put the camera on the other side of your house.
I know, right?
In any case, Northwest Brewmeisters, couple guys from the... Oh,
Wow,
man, screw that. I don't even remember it. Hi.
We're a couple guys from the
Pacific Northwest who like beer.
And think you should too.
I'm Jamey.
I'm Steve.
Is that it?
That's
Oh,
it.
okay. We're gonna
another comment.
We're gonna come in again. All right, here we go. Welcome to another episode of the Pacific.
All right, moving on.
Moving on. Today we're brewing beer, and Steve is just gonna spitball about something because he's not brewing beer. Tell me why you're not brewing beer, Steve.
I'm just taking a break from brewing beer right now. I have beer in the pipeline that I need to get through and get moved around. In fact, after this brewing, I have some work to do. I have 2 beers I'm transferring. One's going to go into a keg, and the other one's going to go into a secondary fermenter. Wording is hard today.
He's gonna spitball about something because he's not.
And
Tell me why you're not brewing beer, Steve. I'm turning it down.
I'll say they're probably hearing echoing now. So what's going into a keg is a stout, the Stilly Stout that I made, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
I gave it extra time in secondary because it was really, when I transferred it to secondary, I got a lot of sediment and debris in there from the transfer, and I thought I'd give it a couple extra cycles to settle. So even though it's a dark stout, it's not going to exactly be clear like you'd see through a glass, but I want all the sediment out of it as best possible. So that's why I delayed on that one. And the other beer I have is what I brewed 2 weeks ago, which was the what did I make last time? The mild brown, or the mild English mild, which falls under the brown ale style of beer.
Right.
But as far as why I'm taking a break, I just want to take a break. Just kind of let my house clear up of carboys and things for a while.
You're kind of running out of room.
Run out of room, just get through the beer in the pipeline, and then maybe next brew day I'll be ready to brew a batch up again.
All right, we're up to 110 degrees.
What are you doing?
Yes. Right now I'm sharing the broadcast.
No, good.
I know. So today I am going to be brewing my peanut butter stout. And several, like probably a year or so ago, my wife and I went out to eat, and there was one by Lost Coast Brewery called a milk chocolate peanut butter stout, or a peanut butter chocolate milk stout. It's a milk stout, so it's got the lactose in it, so it's got kind of a creamy feel.
Right.
And then it's got peanut butter and chocolate flavors.
Did they ever find it?
What?
Did they ever find it?
No, they didn't have it. It's a rotating tab.
Never mind.
But no, they didn't. Yes, they found the coast, Steve. That's where they brewed.
That's what I was trying to go with this. You just totally skirted my joke, man. My dumb joke.
Yes, I don't. It's like, hi, I'm Jamey, and I'm stupid. So, in any case, okay, I think I've shared it everywhere. That's good enough. Enough sharing. All right, so we got Jade and we got one other person. That other person is me.
Probably you.
Yeah, let's get rid of that person. My wife says she's going to join in. I told her 4:30 and it's 4:41, so we're pretty good. Okay, you go there. And then we look.
When we check, look there.
All right. We really, really, really need a production team. Oh, my beer. Let's read about my beer. I am not doing well. I I think it's an upper respiratory tract infection. I don't know. I got a doctor's appointment on the 11th.
Okay.
I cannot kick this thing. Right? I got no fever, no aches, no nothing, no sickness other than this cough that will not give up. And now I'm starting to wear out because guess who's not getting any sleep? Ever. Yeah. So anyways, why yeast 1028? And, by the way, they didn't have enough, so that will allow us to talk about yeast starters.
Yeast starters,
which is later. After we talk about the government and indoors and outdoors, which is very confusing right now, but it'll be clear later.
Yes, I do not know what he's getting at on this one. I really don't know.
So let's talk about my beer. So first of all, we got Breeze Amber Liquid Malt Extract. That's the stuff we pour out of the tubs. I got 3 of those, which equals 9.9 pounds of this stuff. And that makes this what they call a big beer. High ABV. For me, high ABV is like 6.6. I've never even hit 7. I don't know why. I've had beers that's like, this should go to 7, 8. Why is it stopping at 6?
Well, temperature maybe?
Yeah, because I always...
Fermentation temperature?
I always ferment pretty cold. I always ferment on the cold side of my...
warmer, man. Warmer will actually make it work harder.
I know, but it controls it better. The cold controls it. Yeah, maybe I'll bump
I don't mean make it hot, just maybe a little bit.
No, I know, like instead of 62, more like 66.
Yeah.
Type. I know exactly what you mean. And my phone shut off. Okay, so the Y yeast is 1028. We'll talk about the yeast starter in a minute. Breeze Amber, 3 of those tubs that you've seen us add in there before, if you've ever watched the show before. 2 ounces of Willamette hops, and those are going to go in right at the beginning, at the 60-minute mark. And then 1 ounce of Kent Golding hops at the 10-minute mark. 1 pound of Crystal 150, which is a really dark grain. 2 ounces of melanoidin, which kind of gives it, it's like a character grain.
Like a soft buttery feel. Sounds like something you would read in a lotion.
He'll be here all week.
Sounds like something you would read in like an ingredients on a lotion bottle.
I know.
Comes with melanoidin for that soft buttery feel, you know.
It does something. Roasted barley, 8 ounces. Roasted barley, I know, gives it like a roasted flavor. And you can go overboard with it, overboard with it, and end up with like burnt toast beer. I've never had that happen to me yet, but apparently Steve's drank one.
I didn't make it, but my friend made it, and he said it tastes like burnt toast. And then we had this one other friend who liked it. He really liked it. It's like, all right.
Well, you know, that pale ale I made, and we were like, man. And my dad's like, ooh, this is good. And he's like,
all right.
Sure, I'm related. Am I adopted? Anyhow, British chocolate malt, which does exactly what you would expect. It adds a chocolate flavor to the beer. And then...
adds dark color, too.
Yeah, all of these things darken the beer. These are all dark grains.
Oh yeah, this beer is
gonna be
wicked
black.
dark. It's wicked dark.
Wicked dark. And you'll see that later when we go to Pot Cam. And then we got cacao nibs, or cocoa nibs, whatever you want to call them. Cacao! It just makes me sound like something a crow pooped out.
Yeah.
And dried up, and then I threw it in my beer.
Ooh.
That doesn't sound right. So...
Not sure I'm going to have any of this beer, man.
Cocoa nibs. I'm going with cocoa.
Cocoa nibs.
Cocoa nibs. They're basically just chopped up cocoa beans that have been roasted. So think a coffee bean, but a cocoa bean, and et cetera, et cetera. Put them in after the prior, so we ferment for 2 weeks in one big glass carboy, and then we transfer to another glass carboy, that's secondary. Throw the cocoa nibs in there.
You know, you can show your carboys right over there if you want.
That's true. We can show the carboy because we have pot cam.
Or just bring it over.
Or I could lift all 48 pounds of this stupid carboy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That thing is 6.5 gallons.
We're using pot cam.
Yeah. That thing is 6.5 gallons, filled to the top. It's heavy. Quite heavy.
There's another view of Steve.
Hello. There's the.
And there's a view of the carboy.
That's the primary fermenter.
Which I think people have seen.
We have,
the
yeah.
carboy.
We've shown the carboy before.
Right. So anyways.
Not very often though. Do we?
6.5 gallons. There's a mark on this one.
Right there. I see it.
Right here. I don't know if you can see in the camera, but right here. This is where we fill to, and we leave all this head space for when it foams and stuff. And even then, with beers like this, it foams all the way up and out the top and all over the place.
Yeah, yeah. I've had a couple of little, science project style volcanoes in my kitchen from beers.
All over your floor, and you're just like, ah! That's so frustrating.
Oh, that was one, man. I forget what beer it was. It was recent, like in the last 2 or 3 months.
Didn't the Resurrection Ale do it to you once?
I think it was the last Resurrection Ale. I kept blowing the water lock off. Like I would hear it go. It would blow it off and hit the ceiling. Like I even had beer crap on the ceiling I had to scrape off because it gustered up so high, man. I was like, what is going on here?
That is funny. So, anyhow, forget where I was with that.
You're gonna put it in the fermenter, and then after it's done, it'll
when we hit the secondary, we'll put it in the cocoa mix, and then at the very end, we'll add the peanut butter flavoring. I would like to do real peanut butter
Clean it out, old PA. Coors in Colorado. We even left the USA. Lamont up in Canada. The land of white snow. You don't even need a cooler when it's 40 below. Dos Equis down in Mexico or Corona with a lime. It's such a shame so many beers, so very little time. From Brazil to Argentina. From Peru or Ecuador. Todos hechos sus cervezas. They grant some more. Fill my glass up to the brim with that taste of brews. I have some on help yesterday, so this one is for you. One by one, instead of a battle, one by one, them all. There's a million different kinds of beer. We're gonna drink them all.
Like these things that when you start the grains, and you put as much as you want in there, and then hang it, and then you let that boil clean out. You did it 2 weeks for all that oil. So that took a long time. It's much easier to buy a little tiny bottle of
What about the Beverly? Well, that's where it all began. They say the first beer was brewed in modern day Iran or Lebanon or Jordan. Well, hey, they make beer too. Don't forget Gosar in Israel.
That's my beer
The juice
in a nutshell. And then we add some lactose at the very end.
Joey's in Australia, or maybe he calls it draft. Trying to keep up with the Aussies and you'll end up on you. Wow! Fill that glass up to the brim with that taste of brew. I drank them on help yesterday, so this one is for you. One by one instead of one better, one by one they fall. There's a million different kinds of beer. We're gonna drink them all.
Drinking homebrew, there is some English ale we'll drink later, but we're starting off with some
There's beer
brewing.
from Scandinavia, Belgium, France, and Spain. A razor glass bottoms up and fill them up again. That's it. Guinness, headings from the sky.
Some marketing, gimmicks,
I mean before Prohibition.
Right, Eskimo! Czech Republic, Poland, Russia, China to the east. They all make delicious beers with barley, hops, and yeast. Don't have to sell a big name brew. Or better, brew your own. But enjoy that beer, cause one thing's clear. You ain't driving home! Fill my glass up to the rim with that tasty brew. I drank to my health yesterday, so this one is for you. One by one we set them up, and one by one they fall. There's a million different kinds of beer. We're gonna drink them all!
But when it first came out, I think that steam beer leaves.
Cheers!
And then
Cheers! It's original. Cheers!
Yeah, Walmart does so well.
Slanja! From Ireland. That's right. May the devil know you're not dead. Oh, right.
and the big case stick for your book now.
It's hard for a German to be an Irish like. That's right. So, take homage to Germany and say, Prost! And may you be in hell, half an hour before the devil goes your land. Yes, in Ireland they would appreciate that. Yeah. Like I'm. Yes, for our true friends. What else we got? Combine! Up to Japan! Over to the West Japan, we have Russia, Petrovia. Where for Japan? Nostrovia! It's called Russia. Wait, we have Zeus French. Yes, down in Africa, Bajabule! How do we say that? Bajabule! Salud! Latin America and Italy.
So that's the beer we're brewing. We're brewing it at request of my wife. She actually waffled. She wanted me to brew she wanted me to brew the Newcastle clone. But then she found a case of Newcastle.
Oh.
And so then she's like, wait, can you brew the peanut butter stout? Is it too late? I'm like, have we bought the kit yet? No, we have not.
Not
So
too
no,
late.
it's not too late.
It's never too late.
Really, it's not too late until the beer's been brewed.
Yeah. It's like, I just put the yeast in there. It's too late.
Yep, now it's too late. Now there's nothing we can do.
Now we're good.
Yeast starters.
Yes, you're doing a yeast starter this time.
Right.
Why is that?
Because they did not have enough packets of yeast.
And why would you need multiple packets in this case?
I don't know.
I'm just asking you for the sake of our viewer.
So I know the academic answer, which is that if you put too little yeast into a very high gravity, meaning that it has a lot of sugars from grain in it, you can stress the yeast. And that can potentially produce off flavors, which include barnyard, which we have yet to. Someone out there watching the replay
Someone needs to tell
go
us
taste the barnyard and report back.
Yeah.
We're too old to do this. So someone young, maybe someone not of drinking age yet. Anywho, that's the reason. Is that the basic reason is you can stress your yeast if you add too little yeast to a really high gravity wort.
Right. And I know the yeast propagate, but they only propagate so much. And so even if they propagate, you still don't have enough yeast to consume enough of the sugar to make the beer properly. And that's why you need to add more yeast. And
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I guess so.
that's how I understand it. So
They're not like chickens. Chicken has an egg, and then that chicken can have eggs. And then the next chicken can have eggs.
I know they really propagate is
Oh yeah,
cells
billions and billions.
but maybe those few billions aren't enough to completely consume all the
Well, they probably
to convert all those sugars because they're converting them to starches is what they're doing.
Right, and probably towards the end there's not enough for them to keep going. It's like the starter yeast grabbed all of it, and then the finisher yeasts
Right.
were struggling to find whatever there was.
That's the only thing I can think of. Maybe they only reproduce so much, They stop-
Well,
they stop
and
reproducing.
also maybe they mutate. I mean, like
Maybe
a
they
copy to
die,
copy. Because
They eat so much they blow up,
I mean, it's not like yeast have sex and have little baby yeasts.
No.
I mean, that'd be really cool. I mean, what we do for a hobby would just go to the next level if that was true. We'd have to make the Ron Jeremy beer. No, that is just suddenly I don't feel like drinking any beer. Just want to go wash my mouth.
The beer doesn't seem so appealing anymore.
Yeah. No, but more importantly is, are we ever gonna hit 150? What was I talking about? So they don't
Excuse me.
they don't replicate. They do the whole cell thing where they divide and divide and divide.
Yeah, like mitosis.
Yeah, is that what it's
I
called?
think it's called mitosis.
I think it is mitosis.
Yeah.
I learned about it in like 4th grade.
Well, it's like when a embryonic cell gets
Right.
fertilized, it splits up through mitosis.
Yep, exactly.
How was it?
No. So in any case, they replicate like that, and I know that. So there are guys that will save their yeast.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily buy new yeast. They'll rack their beer, and then they'll collect the yeast cake from the bottom, and they'll use it again. And I know that it's been said, or it's like, I don't know if it's common knowledge, but there's a school of thought that says you can only do that a few times before you need to get rid of it and start fresh. Because I think, just like COVID, just like the Spanish flu in 1918, it mutates. And after a while, what you started with is not what you have.
Not what you have anymore, yeah.
Yeah. And so you thought you were brewing a British ale, but you're actually brewing a
Something else.
Jamaican dirt ale, and you didn't know it.
Yeah.
By the way, African beer, apparently banana beer. They make banana beer. My wife said she saw a video. I want to watch the video, and she wants me to make the banana beer. She did say it took like 500 pounds of bananas, though. So I'm wondering if this guy was
That's
like...
gonna be